Book Summary: Sapiens, A Brief History of Humankind by Yuval Noah Harari. Key Insights: Through the study of physics, we have learned the story of the Big Bang, which occurred about 13.5 billion years ago in the skies. And within the last 70,000 years, Homo sapiens appeared. Since their appearance, humankind has gone through three dynamic revolutions: the cognitive revolution, the agricultural revolution, the scientific revolution. Currently, we are in the scientific revolution, which started about 5 centuries ago. It is progressing at rapid speeds, but we are still unsure of the final outcome. The cognitive revolution. We as a species are not the only humans to have walked the face of the earth. All of our ancestors were the genus Homo. Homo sapiens, however, appeared and disrupted the natural order by bringing in advances of language, cognition, or thinking, and technology. Now, we are currently at another turning point in humankind with our own existence, as humans are being rivaled by the introduction of artificial intelligence. For over 2 million years, we lived with our thinking processes and capacity for learning without advantages to match. Homo sapiens were for a long time in the middle of the food chain. Now we are at the top, so our advantages now match our intellect. For thousands and thousands of years, Neanderthals were superior to sapiens. When sapiens first encountered Neanderthals in the Middle East, they were quickly overpowered, and the sapiens fled back to Africa where they came from. But 70,000 years passed, and sapiens once again decided to leave the comfort of Africa on their way to Asia and Europe and even Australia. They overpowered Neanderthals. The cognitive revolution is documented through the appearances of sewing needles, boats, oil lamps, and art throughout history. But the greatest development that resulted from the cognitive revolution was language. Language helped to communicate danger to other beings, and it also helped to keep information stored safely in the brain. For example, an animal can warn its species that there is an enemy approaching. However, only a human can warn their tribe of the possibility of danger based on an enemy's signs, such as footprints or tree rubs. Humans can store the information they see and present it to their tribe later, whereas animals can only warn against immediate danger in the present to the animals around them. The cognitive revolution and language also brought humankind the gifts of spirituality, religion, and the supernatural. Or, in other words, it gave us the ability to understand and think about things we cannot see or touch. But with more intellectual thinking came war, hierarchies, and politics. By understanding our hunting and gathering ancestors, we are better able to understand ourselves. For example, as modern-day humans, we tend to binge on sugary foods. That's because if our ancestors came across a high-calorie sweet, which was rare, they would maximize the find by eating as much of it as they could or foraging it for their tribe. Now that sweets are available to us whenever we want, we eat them more regularly. This started when we began harvesting food ourselves. The agricultural revolution. The agricultural revolution changed the way we consume food. Now we can grow food in designated areas through farming, but before that was a concept, humans had to forage for their food. Our ancestors dedicated their lives to giving us our current method of planting, growing, and consuming our foods. Agriculture, against popular previous belief, did not start in the Middle East and spread from there. Instead, it started independently in different areas around the world around the same time. Early farmers did not have a great understanding of the earth, except for survival purposes. Plants, in a way, helped humans to become domesticated. That's because without humans nurturing them, many plant species would not have survived the times. Tending to crops was intensely laborious. Ancient skeletons reveal the consequences of this work, including arthritis and hernias. Although there were many challenges with resources and territories, the promise of sustainable food was worth the effort. It allowed the species to feed their offspring and reproduce more. Foraging ancestors were mainly concerned with the present, while the farming humans were thinking of the future. This led to the design of cities, villages, and towns. With cities, villages, and towns in place, this brought more people together, building alliances based on human rights, wants, and needs, and moral virtues. The agricultural revolution made us start to rely on numbers. A forager would not care how many pieces of fruit were on a tree, as long as there was some. But farming became a sign of status and livelihood. The more fruit you had, the better off you were. Because numbers were of such great importance, the ancient Sumerians were able to calculate sums that have never been heard of and keep records on a scale that no human brain could ever process. After numbers started playing such a huge role in the species, the art of writing was introduced. Writing led to entire systems of law, religion, and learning, which brought about the agreed-upon natural order. A lot of modern anthropologists still believe there is a majority of patriarchal societies in the world. However, new ideas seem to disprove this. There is no genetic proof of men being superior to women. Therefore, patriarchy is simply just a self-fulfilling prophecy. Humankind Unified. There is a pattern in human history. It begins with intense growth and then turns to disintegration. However, there has also been a big uprise in unity because there is no country or culture that has grown independently. All of the cultures and societies are intertwined in some way. The greatest unifying force in our world is money. Money has no value except the value that we give it. This can change depending on the society or the economy at any given time. Liberalism in our modern-day society suggests that empires are not sustainable because it is impossible to rule over a mass of conquered people for a long amount of time. However, empires have been dominant in our world for the last 2,500 years. One of the major benefits of empires is the ability to standardize laws and currency under a smaller reign. Although we tend to think negatively about the British takeovers of countries throughout history, those countries gained a lot through that process. For example, during a British takeover, India gained its legal system, the English language, a railway network, and the game of cricket. Religion has been argued to be discriminatory. However, religion unifies people by bringing them together under the same moral virtues. Religions are important because they highlight human order and social values. Early religions often used animal sacrifice to establish dominance and social order. Religion also made Homo sapiens the focus and center of the world because they were able to reason and give ideas and actions moral consideration. The Scientific Revolution. The scientific revolution demands that we understand our ignorances as a species, use observation, use mathematics, and to acquire new skills by putting theories into action. As humans, we are looking to control the universe in order to fully understand it. Science and technology didn't always go hand in hand. Science used to be more about understanding concepts than controlling them. But when science became attached to empires, it also became socially profitable. Now, there are royal societies and government-funded labs that allow science to go further. However, that's not all good. Once science got involved with technology, horrors in warfare such as Agent Orange and the atomic bomb appeared. Many believe that Christopher Columbus sparked the scientific revolution because of the data that was required of the new continent in order to conquer it. The thirst for knowledge made many Europeans learn new languages, geographies, and of course, technologies. Science has entered a turning point where its creations might actually become the creators. Artificial intelligence is threatening our place in the world. History repeats itself, but evolution is always growing. If we are not careful, we will become superior beings to our technology. The main takeaway. There are three major revolutions in the history of humankind: the cognitive revolution, the agricultural revolution, and the scientific revolution, which we are in right now. By understanding how these revolutions have helped shape our species, we can see the possibility of artificial intelligence threatening our position of top dog in the natural order.
Hi, I'm Rhonda, and this is an exclusive audiobook video recorded for the Audiobook Master Channel. Enjoy your audiobook and have fun learning. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification button so you'll get updated on our next upload. If you liked the video, give us a thumbs up and say your thoughts about the book we just covered. Do you want to listen to a summary or review of a book that we haven't covered in the past? Say it in the comments below or send us a message. Don't forget to check our other uploads. Enjoy listening!